the next thing is everybody understand that what you don't tell them is just as important as what you do tell them. Okay, that's just as important. People keep rambling on in the meetings. Honest to God, right? It drives me crazy to watch it happen. Guys, stop! Don't tell them anymore. Right? They're not going to do well out there once you start that stuff. Okay. Now the next thing is they this isn't and this is simple. No, this is not rocket science stuff. Let me tell you. Okay. Right. Learn before number two. Learn before you compete. Learn before you compete. Right. Don't go out there and not know it. Don't let them go out there and not know it. Okay. Learn before you compete. And the whole day when you have them, and I don't know what level you're coaching at, but you start with them at some point in the day. Okay. When you start with them, excuse me, I had to get a drink here. When you start with them, okay, it's a learning process. Okay. They're learning. You have a meeting with them. Okay. My meetings with them, my classroom is not set up classroom style. My classroom for, I don't know, 30 years has been set up, right, conference style. I want them to see each other. Okay. I don't, because the kid in the back of the room makes a mistake and the kids in the front of the room, they don't turn around and look at that guy. I don't even know if those guys are awake. Okay. So if you set it up, excuse me, conference style, they see each other. They can't hide. So if I'm making corrections, everybody can see the guy that I'm making the corrections with. Right? It's more peer group influence. All right. So that's a simple thing. That's not hard. If you can do it in your room, you may not be able to do it. Okay. But if you can, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. So they learn so they're learning in that meeting. And in that meeting, why they are learning, okay, I have them, there's a tremendous amount of their participation. It's like a discussion group. Hey guys, we got a will free safety blitz and we got 60 protection. How are we going to handle it? Joe Petonio. Okay, how are we going to handle this? And he's going to tell me the depth of the quarterback, right? Who the running back has, okay? What every player does on the offensive line. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right. What everybody does, right? You're going to tell me the line techniques, the line calls, okay? Right? They're discussing it, okay, to make sure everybody's got it right. Okay. Right. You do it that way, and they will retain 50% more than if you get up there and try to lecture. You're going to get up there and try to lecture. I mean, it's not going to go as nice as you want it to go. They're only going to retain about uh, 5 to 10%, of that. Okay. It's better when they participate. When they participate, they're going to retain a whole lot more, right, doing it that way, okay, than if you're out there just talking away. Okay, I know how you guys get. I was the same way. When I was a young puppy, I get up in front of them and wanted to show them what I do. Okay, and that doesn't really go over that good anymore. As you well can, I'm trying to find my list here. Hang on a minute. And obviously, I can't find it anyway. Damn it. Hang on. You got it? Nope. All right. Right. So they'll retain 50% of what they need to know if you put them in a group discussion. Okay. That's pretty good. Right now, you're going to go from that group discussion, okay, and you're going to take them out to the walkthrough. All right. So I've asked you guys, what's the most important period in practice? Everybody, especially the line coach, right? You always say it's individual. No, it's not. The most important period in practice is your walkthrough period. That's the most important period in practice. In that walkthrough period, now it's not a slap and tickle thing. It's not a slap and tickle and one of those, we just kind of take 2 easy or 3 easy steps and we put our hands on the guy. And no, it's not that at all. Okay. It's probably the only time in practice when you can take, right, the most exact footwork that you need, right? The number one thing in offensive line play, right, is your angle of departure from the line of scrimmage. How you depart the line of scrimmage in run or pass is the number one thing in offensive line play. If you're leaving the line of scrimmage at the wrong angle, there's very few Joe Thomases and Owen Crutzes and Anthony Munozes of the world that can recover leaving a line of scrimmage the wrong way and still make the block. Okay. So they have to leave the line of scrimmage at the proper, right, departure angle, right? And they can do that in that walkthrough period. And they can do it over and over and over and over again. Okay. So that's important. In that walkthrough period, done correctly, they will retain 75% of what they need to know. That's astronomical. They're going to retain 75% from what they need to know. So now you're learning in the classroom, you come to the walkthrough, you're learning in the walkthrough. Okay, kind of how it works, right? Now, if they are coaching each other, if you hear them coach each other and they're using, right, your language, the way you think about it, the way you approach it to them, okay, right, then stay out of it. Okay, let them coach each other. Okay. And when that, like Joe Thomas is coaching one of the young tackles, right? That young tackle, he's going to remember 90% of what Joe's telling him. Okay. So when you start getting that, right, now you got them. Right. Now they're on your side. Okay. So that's the most important period in practice. Now you go from there and you go to stretch. Okay. So they went in the classroom, they went in the walkthrough, now they're in stretch. Don't get me started on that one. Right. If you guys see me, uh, when I was with the Oakland Raiders, we didn't stretch. We did not stretch. Okay. We told the players we're going to practice. When we go to the field, we're going to practice. Right. The head coach is going to bring us up. He's going to have 30 seconds to say something that nobody really listens to anyway. Okay. And then we're going to go off to our individual periods. Okay. But we're not stretching. We may run 3 plays on air and then go individual periods. We had the fewest amount of soft tissue injury in the National Football League. We didn't stretch. You guys get paid, right? Right. You guys have to get ready to go to practice. So go see the trainers, go see the strength coaches, go see whoever you need to stretch you, okay, before you come to practice, because we're not doing it. Right? You'd be surprised. The fewest amount of soft tissue injuries, okay, in the National Football League. That's not a bad deal. So now we go to practice and we go to individual. Okay, hey, now they're learning. They're learning again, right? Learning in a classroom, learning in a walkthrough, learning in individual. Now, usually after individual, okay, there's some type of competition period. Everybody has something different to do. Okay. We'll just say it's the inside run for the sake of this conversation. So if we have an inside run or a team run period, now they got to compete. That's where they're going to compete. They learn and now they're going to compete. Okay. And not only they are going to compete, but you are going to compete too. Okay. So they learn and then they compete. Right. Now that period's over. Right. So now you're going to